And APB, American Protection Bureau, voted #1 best on Long Island for all your security needs. Call 631-390-9050. That's 631-390-9050. APB.
You need a body shop? You need engine repair? Auto Excellence, Collision Specialists, 631-261-6420. That's 631-261-6420. Auto Excellence. Jimmy, I gotta take a dump.
What?
No, I mean I need a dumpster.
Well, for all those needs, you need to call Big V Dumpster Rental, Long Island, New York, 631-900-DUMP. Elm Logistics, for all your logistic needs, call 631-299-3595. That's 631-299-3595. Elm Global Logistics.
Oh, now we go. Now we got some peeps. There we go.
Hey guys, and welcome to a special edition of the Monty and the Pharaoh Show featuring Pharaoh, ESO, and the Playa. And we are going to go over the card from the Elimination Chamber and basically just talk about it, talk about some of the aftermath and what's going to happen leading up into WrestleMania. But first, let me introduce the guests first, the panel. It is up top, we've got a man who doesn't really need an introduction, Jimmy Pharaoh. What's going on, Jimmy?
What's up? I'm up. You know how early they had everybody up? What's up?
Yeah, well, I wasn't up that early. I watched it in replay. But, hey, Playa, what's going on over there?
Straight out of Playaville. I was up at 4:48 this morning.
Better you than me. Better you than me. That's what they make replays for. And right now in the chat, we got to give a special shout out to, we have RJ Hudson and Jason Moaning. How you guys doing out there? How'd you guys like that pay-per-view? What'd you guys think of it? So, hey, well, listen, let's just start out with overall thoughts of the pay-per-view. Benny, what did you think? What was your overall reaction to it?
Well, I mean,
premium live event. Excuse me.
It was another safe play, kind of the same as the Royal Rumble. I mean, it did what it had to do. It definitely advanced the storylines for WrestleMania. It set up a couple of new potential matches for WrestleMania in the men's Elimination Chamber. And the matches themselves were good. I mean, they were good to very good to maybe even excellent. They were good matches. Can't say any of them were bad. The one thing I would have liked is Triple H promised a surprise. Maybe that was the surprise was there were no surprises.
Yeah, pretty much, pretty accurate. Hey, Jimmy, you have anything to add to that?
What do you mean no surprises? You had AJ Styles whomping away with a chair.
Surprise!
Surprise! Benny, you look surprised. Yeah.
Listen, Triple H said that the surprises that were going to happen were going to be well worth it. You're going to tell me AJ wasn't worth it?
Yeah, it was. I was a holy shit moment. I got to be honest, all kidding aside. I went holy shit, And as far as the overall card, onward we go. So what? So we were able to figure this one out. I was saying to Benny before we got on the air about, I really hope the younger kids don't sit there and try to figure everything out and they just watch it like I know for sure Mike and I did back in the day. It was a lot more organic and just enjoy the fantasy of the sport entertainment world,
That's such a good point that Jimmy just made, because that's what we did. We didn't try to figure anything out. We watched it, a lot of times very emotionally because we didn't know what was going to happen. Now it's everybody's an analyst and a booker, and they're trying to, they shouldn't have done that, and just enjoy it.
Right. Well, you know what, though, to be fair, we did try to figure it out. It wasn't like,
that's our job.
Especially when Morocco and Valentine were like trying to get the belt off either Bob or Pedro, depending on the year. But, we tried to figure it out. But still, we didn't get all crazy about it and over analytical like we're saying. We enjoyed it for what it was, and I still do. It's probably why I've been watching for half a century. I haven't lost that childhood love of it. I mean, if you do, what's the point? I mean, at our age, Benny, Bruce, if you don't still love baseball like we did when we were younger to some degree, you're not watching it anymore, but we are.
No. Okay,
One of my favorite things in life, even now, is on a Sunday afternoon, taking a ride to the Clearwater ballpark,
Yeah.
buying a $8 ticket to watch a Florida State League game, getting a steak, Philly cheesesteak, and a craft beer, and I'm in heaven on a sunny
There you
day.
go.
Nothing better than that.
There you go.
So
Yeah.
I have it
Maybe
at,
a Bolivian hooker, maybe, but other than that.
What? Wow! At the ballpark, that must cost.
No, they don't have those. That's why that's the best.
That's. Is it in the neighborhood at least?
I don't know. I have to check that out.
Convenient stop and shop. Very interesting.
Yeah, there you
Bruce,
go.
what else? What else you got before we get in anything?
well, listen. So I'm going to call this. This was not a pay-per-view. This was one of the first things I could say. It definitely is not a pay-per-view. A pay-per-view would have given us a lot more. This was definitely a premium live event. This is what we're going to get. We get 4 matches. I'm going to say the matches themselves, awesome matches. I could have done without the Grayson Waller thing, and I think the majority of the world outside of Australia could have done without the Grayson Waller thing. But otherwise, I mean, what can you say? It was a good show. It started out well. Most of it. I don't know if you guys caught the pre-show. Not that tag team match was bad, but what did you guys think of the Kabuki Warriors tag team title defense there? Benny, what did you think there?
I did not see it. I did have to work today, so I kind of caught most of the. It was weird. I caught most of it before I had to leave for St. Petersburg. I actually listened to the Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax match on my way to Petersburg, and then I actually, when I got home early enough to rewatch the men's match. But I did not get to watch the pre-show tag team match.
What about you, Farrell?
Well, I got to watch it, and I'll tell you something. I got to, Mike was way ahead of me when it came to accepting the women on a higher level. I always dug the women. Come on, stop. But on a higher level, especially around the time that they had the Evolution pay-per-view several years back. Mike went to that, and I got to tell you, the Kabuki Warriors, what a splendid heel tag team they are. I mean, that was actually a really solid, for a match that's not supposed to mean too much. That was really solid because the match was so traditionally played out with, I do believe that was Indy Hartwell's homeland. I didn't
Yes,
even realize
correct.
that. I mean, how much do I not pay attention, But I mean, she got a really nice reception. She did a solid job playing the face role with Candice. Candice took, quite the beating. And the Kabuki Warriors just played it up deliciously, the villainous role. What a really good match. I enjoyed it. What's wrong with me, Bruce?
There's nothing wrong with you. You cannot take anything away from the performance of Asuka and Io there. But
Kyrie's got. I'm sorry. I love that elbow Kyrie Sane has always thrown. I love it. It looks fantastic. And Asuka. Yeah, man, a lot of credit for Asuka. My God,
Asuka is an amazing talent.
But it also shows you
Very
have these
underappreciated. I think
Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, these up and comers. Really, I mean, the women's division is the outlook of it is pretty bright. In the WWE,
I agree about Indy possibly, fitting more so your description of an up and comer. I feel like Candice is in a strange position. She's been around for a while. I'm sure you guys know that.
That's Gargano's wife. Gargano's wife, right? They've been on the Indies for a lot of years.
I wonder ultimately where she's going to wind up in the real scheme of things. I felt like if they were ever going to really pull a higher level main event type trigger with her, they would have done it a lot sooner than now. So I would find it interesting if she ever gets to that sort of level. Indy, who knows? My gut goes with no, especially after I see ladies like Stratton. Oh my! But we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Thank you.
We'll get to that. Bruce, what was the opening one for the evening? After that was
the opening. We might as well get right into it. Tiffany Stratton was part of it. It was the women's elimination chambers. How we opened up. Raquel Rodriguez, Tiffany Stratton, Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, and Becky Lynch and Naomi. So I mean, what can you say about that match? That match was that was if that match was awesome. I mean, they really did a lot in between, which I was amazed for. There was less laying down than I've seen in other elimination chambers. There was always some action going on, and a lot of people were complaining about the finish, but honestly, I thought it was awesome. Benny, why don't you take over here? What did you think?
I don't want to steal Jimmy's thunder, but he said Tiffany Stratton. To me, even though she was out, I think second, I was very impressed by her. I thought she did a great job, really, really good job. And as far as a future star, that's somebody I really expect big things from. And Raquel Rodriguez, she was good. I think she's still kind of, a little bit rusty coming back from her injury. Another one I predict great things for. A Candice LeRae, although she is talented, she's not a young kid. I think she'll get lost in the shuffle because there is so much talent on the female roster that, maybe she's the 12th best or something like that. But she's not. You're not going to see Candice LeRae as a women's champ. I just don't see it.
No, I don't know. That match just in general, that was some match. Farrell, what did you think? What do you have for us?
Well, here we go again, where I just got to tip my my backwards Yankee cap to the ladies because that match was absolutely fantastic. It had the logical conclusion. It should be Becky. Raquel Rodriguez reminds me of the female version of the early days of Damian Priest coming up, where she's still a little awkward. There is something missing. I think it's just simply polish, guys.
Yeah.
As far as she goes, she could definitely go somewhere. She's got the power. I think she'd make a great villain. She seemed kind of ticked off that they were booing her. I don't know if you caught her mumbling when they first started to boo her as she took over the dominant, physicality and started pounding them and stuff. And then the crowd booed her, and she stepped back through the ropes, and I could basically see, her mouth going, "What a bunch of bullshit!" But she played it. And I thought to myself,
Nice.
what a great villain you would make. I'm like, you really would make a great villain. But she's probably got a long way to go on the microphone. I'm pretty confident of saying that at this juncture of her career. Becky did what she had to do, and that was look. It's okay to have the logical conclusion. It's okay. That was a fantastic match. And Stratton, if that's not the future, if that's not a future champion, then I don't know what I'm looking at. Because that's a future champion. Stratton is, wow, just wow. She's already at wow level at everything she does. She's oozing with charisma. She can go. She's perfect, dudes.
They all delivered. Nobody mailed it in. They all delivered. They brought their A games.
Yep.
No, look at Liv Morgan. Look at Bianca. Everybody. That finish was great.
Yep.
A lot of people were complaining about that finish, but let's face it, it went so smooth between the three of them. Yes, it happened quickly compared to the rest of the match, but honestly, it was a good match. The right person won. We all knew it was going to happen, but it is what it is. Right. I can't say anything bad about it.
When there's a bang bang finish and the internet explodes, do you think it's really? Let's get to the root of that. Do you think it's really because the crowd themselves didn't have a chance to protest what they may or may not decide to ultimately do when you make the match longer than a bang bang bang? Is that what it is? It's like, well, if we can't express our displeasure and try to change the course of this match live, we'll do it after the fact.
Right.
What do you think? Was it the bang 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 effect? So what? That was a great finish. It makes sense. What do you want? It should have been the element of bang, bang, bang. That's what Becky wins a lot that way anyway. What's the problem?
The only thing I would have changed in the match if I was the booker is I would have had Tiffany hang around a little bit longer and maybe not be eliminated. Maybe be eliminated, say, third or fourth. But other than that, there's really nothing you can say bad about that match.
I can feel that. I don't think that they're going to, half-ass that push when it happens. Let's put it that way.
So hey, Benny, the number one player mate is in the chat.
Hey, Playmate.
What's up, Beth? How's it going? What's going on, RJ? And looks like the president is in the house, but not on the screen. What's going on, Phil?
Mr. DeCesare. He made it. At least he made it. Give him that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, next match on that card was what was it? It was Dunn and Bates against the Judgment Day, Priest and Balor. Again, I didn't expect anything other than a great match to be put on, and they did. They put on a very entertaining one. Benny, what do you have for us?
There were some spots in that match that I absolutely loved. That airplane spin by Tyler Bate that lasted for about 15 minutes. I think I went through the McDonald's drive-thru and I came back and he was still doing it. I did. I liked it. It was a Cesaro type move, and then of course Pete Dunne with the stretching of the fingers, the twisting of the fingers. I mean, that is so realistic. You never get tired of that. Again, a great match. You knew that they weren't going to win, but my one question is whoever that referee was, though, she was absolutely clueless. That last spot when they got pinned. I mean, they were both in the ring. I mean, I could have counted to 987, and they were both still in the ring. Right. So, kind of, you got to enforce the rules a little bit. I think that was she did eject Dominic eventually, after the damage was done. But no, it was a great match. I really enjoyed it. Unfortunately, as in Bolivian hookers, sometimes size matters, and
Only Viagra Batman. Wow.
But other than that, man, they represented. They were great. They were all great.
Yeah. I thought it was an excellent match. I marvel at Tyler Bate. How long did he actually really do that? I was kind of, this is where What a Day would swoop in and say, I timed it. It was 50 and a half seconds. I mean, I would like to know how long he spun him for, because
then he would show the video 17 times, right?
Probably. Hey, did you know who he went to high school with?
Yeah. Come on.
Smitty. He went to school with Smitty.
Oh, okay. Well, since everybody already knows, we'll gloss over that.
And he got indignant when Francine had to oil her chest up.
Oh, that's true. That's true. The head tilt. Hey, it's all in the head tilt. Let's get things, let's get things straight. Yeah, solid. Like we said it would be. How could you be surprised by that? By the way, Balor and his big buddy over there, did they get any credit at all as a team themselves? How come we never talk about them? Is there a reason for this?
And even Dominic, I mean, got the living shit put at him by the Australian crowd. I mean, who would have thought that he would have morphed into such an excellent heel?
Well, you mean the most hated wrestler on both rosters. That's who you're talking about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, I actually thought that he ascended very maturely and very quickly from day one. I might have been on board a lot sooner than most people, before he became what he is today, which is, obviously a much more perfected, rounded out, Mysterio. But even in the early days when he was doing his stuff with his dad, he was rising at a very, very mature and quick pace, man. He's been good for a long time already. The kid's been good for a couple of years, and only knows. Well, you can only know. I do wish he changed his diet and eat some more pigs or something like that, because I think just a little more size on him, and now you really got something. Right. That's me.
I mean, I have been very, very critical of him in the past, saying that the only reason why he's there is because of his father. But man, oh man, the guy has he got the door open for him, and he knocked the door down, and he's been he's been busting those doors down ever since. The guy, I mean, he works his ass off. He keeps improving. Every time you see him, he gets better.
I'll tell you what. In a room where you have Ray and you have Eddie Guerrero, I got to be honest. I feel this way already, and this is no knock on Chavo, but Dominic is already past Chavo in my mind.
Yeah.
As far as what he brings to the table, what kind of aura does he have? How good is he in the ring, et cetera, et cetera. How serious can I take him in the role he's trying to convince me thereof? Oh man, it's not even close. So Dominic has a lot to be proud of already. And I'm sure his father's really proud of him. You gotta be. Could you imagine Could you imagine if Ray had decided to take the independent way of thinking, the independent Mark way of thinking, and had not stayed with WWE in those years, and had not had the opportunity to bring his son in on that level with that kind of programming and do what he's done? This was beautiful to watch happen over the last few years between father and son. I think
if he could put on 15, 20 pounds and bulk up a little bit,
Right.
Now you got to start taking him seriously for titles.
Well, that's what I want from him, because honestly, now we're talking about another Eddie. He
Right.
reminds me more of Eddie than he does his pop. But
Oh,
he's
way more of Eddie. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I mean, go with it, because man, oh man, is he good at what he's doing, and he does need some more weight. What can we do? Can we change? Can we send him some Omaha steaks, perhaps? Would
There
that
you go.
work?
Maybe
Okay,
Woo
we could try.
Wings. Flair
Yeah,
can send
yeah.
him some.
All right, but nothing that gives him too much gas. We don't want to,
Yes.
affect his in-ring performance. Bruce, what happened after that? What did we have next?
Oh, what did we have? Oh, we had your highlight of the night. The
Highlight?
Grayson Waller effect.
All right, now hold on. Before you were like, obviously Bruce considers this one an albatross, and Bruce, you will definitely have your moment in the sun to totally trash this. But here was the two things I did like about it. I like the fact that we found out that Seth's about to be medically cleared. And I like the fact that Cody told The Rock, hey, you hit me. Guess what? I guess I got to hit you back, and stuff like that. So for something that it had something happen. How would you like to have been Austin Theory until he finally got to say something at the end? I was like watching Austin Theory. He looked like he was being tortured just sitting there. What was his role? Waller played his usual douchebag, level kind of guy. I thought it was fun. I actually thought it was fun. I didn't think it was that bad. If that's the worst thing that happened over the evening, that we had a couple of revelations from two main event guys, and basically, the bad guys wind up getting their set trashed, et cetera, it's okay. That's basic workage. So that's what I thought about it. I thought I had some fun with it.
I did not know that Seth was not medically cleared. So that when I saw him and Cody in the ring, and I saw Waller and Austin Theory in the ring, I thought, okay, maybe they're going to add another match to the card, and these guys are going to square up. But the minute Seth said that he will be medically cleared, I thought, well, that that trashes that. But it was very entertaining. The only thing is, I really did think that I was going to hear a gong and the Undertaker was going to show up and trash the set. That is the only thing, because I know he was supposedly there, and I thought that would have been a nice moment for him. But not that he needs it, but that would have been the surprise. If that happened, then that was the surprise I was promised. But it was on its own merit, it was not bad at all.
Yeah, I thought it was. I guess I just never fell for the Undertaker showing up at that. I don't know why. I just didn't take any stock in it, so I wasn't even.
Maybe he wasn't there.
Well, I think he was there, but he was there and he shot something. They were showing it on the pre-show that you probably didn't get a chance to catch, Benny. And he did. Bruce, what did he do? He did something. He did some sort of show.
What he did. I only fast forwarded through for the match.
Apparently, he was there the day before to shoot something for some sort of show he's doing of some kind. Maybe it's a one shot. I don't know what the hell it was, but I wasn't really expecting him anyway. What would be the point? Here comes the Undertaker. He's going to beat everybody up.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Well, it was kind of like having you knew Austin Theory was just there to take somebody's finishing move. Come on, I mean that's what I'm thinking. It's not like, oh boy, let's Austin Theory's here. No, I mean the whole it just fell flat to me. I don't think if the crowd weren't so into to Grayson, I don't think the thing would have come across nearly as well. I don't think it moved the needle at all. We didn't learn anything we didn't know already. We didn't surprise anybody with anything. Honestly, I mean that's the thing I have to say. This was just another card. It was great. The matches were awesome. I want something bigger at a premium live event. I want something more.
I don't know what to tell you, bro. I mean, I think that you'll probably get a much bigger show. You got to know this by now. They call the Big Four, and nowadays, I guess with Money in the Bank is the Big Five or whatever. They call those the Big Five for a reason. What we are at right now, and you know this anyway.
Oh, I agree.
We're at in-between land. So what did I say on last night's show? If you don't think like it's going to be this awesome, unbelievable thing, and you just keep it right here, you're not going to be half as upset as you have a right to be, because you were expecting it up here. I wasn't. I was expecting a forward progress to the ultimate game plan. There is a blueprint.
I will say enjoyed the matches, enjoyed the pay-per-view or
Right.
premium live event
Right.
overall.
Right. Right.
I just felt it could have
Now,
they could have
you
done
can
that
say
on any Monday or any Friday. That could have all the stuff that happened could have happened on any of those days.
Right. Well, you know what? That's also a credit to the main shows, is what you're telling me. I mean, I know you probably don't mean it as a positive, but I see a positive in that. What that means is that Raw and SmackDown currently are giving you killer shows. They're
So what's
really good.
what would be the point of a premium live event then?
Well, the point of a premium live event is to build up to the big stages. Listen, if we played the World Series once a month in MLB, I don't think it would feel the same. Is what I'm trying to tell you. Is the overall product good and getting the job done? Yes. That's why I don't get upset about today. I thought today was solid, very solid, and I expected these things. But so what? I have a feeling in WrestleMania, the clear cut so whats may not all be clear cut so whats, because that's what wrestling does to us. Nobody's ever going to fully figure this shit out. Trust me. Just because right now we feel like we've got it kind of pegged, you know that ain't going to last, dude. It never does. Nobody's an expert in this business when it comes to calling what they're going to do behind the scenes. So, to me, it is what it is. And also keep in mind, like, your main complaint about that segment is like, I know that Austin Theory is going to take the beating. Here was the good news for that promo. Everybody else is currently in that ring was really serving quite the best right there. Maybe the internet already had assumed that Cody and The Rock are going to, have a match, but Cody officially said, let's have an effing match. That's got to mean something, right, Benny? It's where he confirmed it. Right. I mean, is it that small? That means nothing? I thought that meant quite a bit. And Seth, I was wondering, is he cleared? I mean, we haven't seen him doing anything. So I thought it was cool that he revealed, hey, in a couple of days, I'm good to go. Okay. I mean, for the fact that Austin is currently not doing shit, everybody else in that ring was serving quite the purpose, and the revelations to me were quite fine for something that's just supposed to be a filler in between thing. And they got to wreck the set. Come on, Bruce. They got to wreck the set. That's always fun. Isn't it always fun when the host gets his set wrecked? That's fun.
I did appreciate the fact that Seth, for once, did not pick an outfit out of Doink the Clown's closet, though. He looked pretty decent tonight.
Boy, is he over or what? That's kind of scary to me.
They both are. Big time.
Yeah.
So Benny, I was just texted and I was asked to plug this upcoming show on the network, and maybe you can do it for me, and let's bring it up there.
Yeah, my replacement. It's now going to be Dan and Joe in the ring.
Wow.
Yeah, after 3 years and 165 episodes, I'm gone.
It's all over, huh, Benny? What a day!
It's a rough business. It's like yesterday's newspaper. You read it yesterday. Today, it's in your parakeet's cage, and that's what I am now.
Wow, I'm like feeling this Russo John Arizzi kind of thing going on here. What's going on here?
I'm a collector for parakeet droppings now.
Wow, now you're gonna have to go out and buy a Blockbuster and say bro all the time.
Yeah, there you go.
What's going on here? That's awful.
It's a tough business, Jimmy.
All right, well, shit. Consider shit stirred, Bruce. Like, what else do you have there? Is there anything else?
Hey, listen, I think I'm just going through the chat room, and looks like Mike Bondi wants to know: is this the newest episode of Dan and Joe in the Ring? No, Mike. That's I don't know when you guys have that set up, but that's up to you guys when you set that up. So, but
I think Mike's drinking the same Kool-Aid as R-Truth when he showed up in Austria instead of Australia.
Oh, so listen. Next,
that was a great segment.
Wait a minute, Mike made it to Florida. I think he knows where he is right
now.
But
he thinks this is Dan and Joe in the Ring.
Yeah, maybe a couple too many sangrias.
Yeah, all right.
A little bit delusional.
Boy.
So, all right. Well, listen. Wow. So next we had the men's elimination chamber, which traditionally is the main event. Wasn't this time. So we had Bobby Lashley, Randy Orton, Logan Paul, Kevin Owens, and Drew McIntyre and L.A. Knight. Benny, why don't you take it? What did you think?
Yeah. Well, I like, again, it was a good match. Only two complaints. One was that, the the lay down effect where they were down for. I mean, I think LA Knight was down. I think for 6 minutes at one point, and in an ordinary match, you're not down for more than like 6 seconds. So what happened that you were like you're so comatose for that long? It just I guess they have to do that because you need to focus on two of the guys at one time. So what else can you really do? So I get that, but it's awkward sometimes. And the other thing is, again, there was a lot of great moves in the match. I would have let LA Knight last. I feel like they kind of jobbed him out too quick. He was the second person out, and I really thought that there was going to be some kind of conflict with LA Knight and Logan Paul leading to a match at WrestleMania. And instead, I kind of feel like now not that it would be a bad match, but now you probably have AJ Styles and LA Knight, and now you have Randy Orton. Horrible matches either, but that kind of surprised me a little bit.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I like the direction they moved in with that. It's interesting to address the LA Knight thing. Think about the other guys that were in this match. Every single one of them are what I call long distance runners, to use the Iron Maiden reference, the loneliness of the long distance runner. Those guys are all experienced long distance runners. LA Knight has been around a long time, but I don't find it a coincidence that the guy who spent the most time taking breaths in between was the guy who can provide the least as far as endurance level. So I wasn't surprised that he was the first to go, I mean, to go that early, if you know what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you that I was surprised that he went early, but not really when you think about it. He was lying down a lot, I mean, they called upon the guys to do the best spots that could do the best spots for the longest amount possible to tell the best story possible. And that's what we wound up with in the end. Who were the last two guys in the ring? How long are those guys? How long are those guys been doing
Drew,
it?
right?
Yeah, or McIntyre.
How long are those guys been doing it? You know what I mean? I thought it was really well written. It made complete sense to me, basically the chain of events. I'm not surprised with LA Knight, because this way, even though he was eliminated early, does he really lose anything from this? If anything, he was just totally screwed. He got so screwed.
I mean, the only thing, I mean, apparently his stock has fallen because, several months ago, maybe 4 or 5 months ago, we were talking about maybe him going to WrestleMania and facing Roman Reigns. And then, then the talk got downgraded to, well, he's probably going to face Logan Paul for the U.S. title.
Right.
And now he's not even getting that.
Right. It's weird, though. What he probably will get is a pinfall victory over AJ Styles at WrestleMania. I mean, if we're shooting this early to have a thought about that, that's what I'm thinking. Because LA Knight is one of those guys, they're not ready to put the belt on right now. They may still put the belt on him, but honestly, the fans still love LA Knight. He hasn't lost anything. Fans still love him.
They're just waiting till Gunther. Once they get the title off of Gunther, they're going to put that one on him. That's that.
Right.
Let's face it. That's the secondary title in the out there right now.
Right. Right.
I can't see anything else happening. The other thing I got to say coming out of that, Logan Paul, Randy Orton. I'd have to say I hope that Randy Orton gets the U.S. title at WrestleMania.
It'd be great, though. Now, back in the day, we talked about this in one of our Wrestling Remembered shows, gimmick matches. And one of the best gimmick matches, I think, was the Brass Knuckles match.
Mm-hmm.
Why not have a Brass Knuckles match? Do it old school.
Right.
Yeah, that probably has.
I mean, especially with, how appropriate would that be? Logan continually uses the Brass Knuckles.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Give him to both guys.
Well, didn't he have a titanium arm at one point or something? Didn't he have
Yeah, I think so. I think he was using that. Was that the great Logan Paul is the most dicky bad guy to the most maximum level. He is such a dick, and I love him. He's such a dick. When he finds where he takes the knuckles, he's like, hey, I'm gonna win. No, you're not. I love the bang bang of that, by the way. Does the RKO ever get old? It doesn't. The RKO is so great. They have found a million ways to do that one simple, beautiful move so effectively over and over again with the whole knuckles and, hey, turn around, asshole, plank. Just Logan Paul's such a dick, and he's so great at it. You know,
It's so
I-
funny
I-
how popular he is with like the young people and everything, but when he comes into the wrestling ring, he's like the most hated individual in the world. It's crazy.
yeah,
But you got to say
he's great at it, and
he's brought millions and millions and millions of faces to the WWE that would not have been there.
he's a damn good wrestler too. He
I mean,
is.
considering his very, very limited experience, I mean, the guy gets it, and he's a phenomenal athlete. All he's going to do is get better.
Did you guys know this? And I didn't realize this, but I read this that on SmackDown last week, that was his first free televised wrestling match since
Wow.
he's been with it.
No, I did not know that. Wow.
Do you realize what that means? Because we can all agree that he's mature in the ring, right? He's there. He's not green at all. There's no green going on there. That guy's fantastic in the ring. Agreed? I mean, guys,
Agreed. And he's, I mean, unlimited upside potential as well.
yeah. And he has spent 2 televised free match since he's been here? Wow. Holy crap. This guy's beelining towards the Hall of Fame. I'm serious. And I do think one day if you put the belt on him, I could see it. I could see that. He could be champion maybe for who knows where he goes with it. But he is an absolute prick. He's perfect at what he does, and he's a fantastic villain. It just works to the 10th degree.
Absolutely Hall of Fame bound. There's no way you can. He's that cross promotional guy that is. He's done everything.
Does he stick with it though? That's the big question.
Does it matter?
Well, you know what? His version of sticking with it is kind of like what Lesnar, did a lot, and I liked when Lesnar was doing it. I want my champion to be special. I don't have to see you every week, especially when your storyline doesn't call for it. I thought that was cool, but that's what we're getting here with Logan Paul. We're getting that with Logan Paul. I mean, he's there when it counts, and he's memorable. He makes it work every damn time he's on the tube. That's what makes him so great.
That was the old school recipe for champions. You didn't see Bruno on TV or Pedro or Backlund. They didn't. I mean, very rarely wrestled on TV.
Right.
They gave interviews to sell out the next event.
Yep.
Right. And to go back further, and I know Benny knows this for sure. It was special to see Harley race when he was NWA champion. It was special when Race would show up.
Ironically,
and it was usually. I mean, he was wearing a suit and then sitting at a desk with Gordon Soley breaking down a match, and you really literally felt like you were watching the 7th game of the World Series on replay. That's how legit and authentic they made it.
So Hulk Hogan, when I was a kid,
he looked like a champ and felt like a champ.
Yeah,
and it was special when you saw him.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan, perfect example. The only time you saw him was interviews. The first time I saw him wrestle was with Paul Orndorff against the Moondogs, and he didn't even get in the ring. The second time was against the King Kong Bundy and Big John Studd, and again, he didn't get into the ring. Outside of that, Saturday night's main event was when you were going to see him, or you were going to see him at one of the major pay-per-views. Either that, or you were spending money to go to an arena.
Right. That's what makes a champion special. You know what? And Roman Reigns has done it too. Roman Reigns is not always there. And sometimes when he's there, he's just there to talk and irritate the people who hate the bloodline and all their success. Too bad. Acknowledge me later. You know what
though? I mean, like I think what we're saying is sometimes less is more.
Yep. That's exactly what we're saying. Couldn't agree more.
So do you think that do you think Drew McIntyre is Do you think Drew McIntyre is the right person to be facing Seth Rollins at WrestleMania?
Any?
I would say in the absence of Cody, yeah. I mean, the guy has been doing. I mean, what a heel he's become. A couple of months ago, he was the old proverbial white meat baby face, and now he's a hated heel, and he did it very quickly. And I mean, the guy's he's very, very athletic. He's gigantic. I mean, Randy Orton, even at the Chamber, they stood face to face, and Drew even had a couple inches on him. He's got to be like 6'5", 6'6", pure muscle. Moves like a cruiserweight. No, I think it's going to be a hell of a match, and I would not be surprised if Drew wins.
Yeah, the right guy won. I don't know how to feel about what will happen when he wrestles Rollins. I'm really not sure. Well, I know I want Rollins to hold the belt and maintain it, but that's all going to depend on if Rollins needs a break. That's the behind the scenes crap that we don't really, we're not privy to directly. So if like, Rollins is about to take a vacation to heal his wounds for a while, then yeah, McIntyre would be fine as champion. I wouldn't be too upset. But do I want to see that happen? No. However, if Drew loses at WrestleMania, what was all of this about? Right?
Right.
So there's that conundrum, you know. Rollins and Reigns, I'm so happy with both of them as champion that I don't want to see either of them lose the belt. That's how I feel currently about both champions. I'm not ready to see Reigns lose to like last year I would have understood it more if Cody had finished his story at that time. But as we've climbed through the months and Reigns is hitting all these milestones, and now we're getting towards Hogan. And I got to be honest, I am surprised that Mike wants to see Reigns pass Hogan. I got to admit, I don't want to see Reigns pass Hogan, but I also at the same time don't want to see the company have to just cave into the Cody crybabies and allow Cody to
Circle number broken. I mean, that's I think something we're lacking a little bit sometimes.
Well, you know what it is, and yes, it would be very cool if it happened because it's happening now currently, and that's cool. But to me, it's almost like the compiler, and I'm going to use like the baseball analogy here. Okay, I'm going to complain about the fact that I'm the kind of statistics guy that always complained about when it takes somebody way longer in a way to get to the same point. Kind of like, when Aaron took a kabillion extra at bats. Benny probably knows the number to get past Babe Ruth. And then Barry did it, I believe, to get past Hank or whatever it was, This almost feels like to me like something like that. It takes nothing away. This is all greatness I'm trying to compare it to anyway. So what am I saying? I'm saying that even if Reigns passes Hogan numerically, I will never, ever put him on Hogan's level, is what I'm saying. Like Harold Baines is in the Hall of Fame, right? And for years and years and years, he was 21 homers, 85 RBIs for what, like 25 years or something?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay.
So he should be in the Hall of Consistency.
Right.
But not the Hall of Fame.
That doesn't mean Reigns should be. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is because Reigns is not Harold Baines. Good Lord.
No.
Well,
But
here's the reality with sports.
Who is Roman Reigns in MLB? I got to think about that. But he would definitely be a clear-cut Hall of Famer. It wouldn't be Harold Baines.
No.
I'm just saying, though, if he passes Hogan, I will never look at it the same way I look at Hogan.
But you have
It's
to
just
look
not
at
gonna happen.
Jimmy. You got to look at it like all sports. The nutrition is different. The equipment is different. The equipment is so much more consistent. Everything's better than what it used to be.
Wait a minute. The nutritionist effect? Did you just say that?
If you're a major league,
That's hilarious.
if you are a major league athlete, a professional athlete anywhere, you have somebody telling you what you are eating.
Oh my God! But Hogan always said his prayers and took his vitamins. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he took his
vitamins.
He took his vitamins.
He took his vitamins, all right.
Oh,
yeah, but
my
But
God.
look, absolutely, the professional athlete now has a lot more of an advantage than the professional athlete of previous generations. But we still do recognize their records when they break them.
Yeah,
so that's what we have. The way we have to look at it.
I gotta come to Jimmy's aid here. Because how many days did Hogan hold the title? It was like 1,400 and change.
Something like that. He had it for 4.5 years.
All right. So, and if Reigns surpasses that, what is he going to have? Like maybe 40 title defenses? What did Hogan have? Like 600?
Listen, I agree with that, Betty, but I would never even start that stuff. Well, I would just keep it simple. He's not Hogan, and it. You know what? To be fair to Reigns, though, it's the same thing with San Martino. Look, is anybody ever going to really top 1963 to 1971? In my mind, even though I didn't get to live through all of that, no, that's the most ridiculous one in the history of professional wrestling. Pretty much what Bruno was pulling off. So, to be fair to Reigns, every generation has a great, and he's this generation's great champion. Period. The end. This reign's amazing. It's historical. It deserves to be mentioned in the top 5. But I don't know if I'll ever put it past what Hogan did. And I know Mike would probably go, "Oh my God!" But what San Martino was doing in those early days, sure, it was a smaller crowd and all that other good stuff. But my God, that was just a ridiculous run, and it was big time for what it was back in those days, one way or the other.
And keep in mind that the only reason why his reign ended was because he wanted it to end. He wanted to go home and spend time with his family. Otherwise, it would have kept going.
Right. That guy was basically the FDR of the WWF. If FDR hadn't passed away, they would have just kept reelecting him because Bruno was permanently the president of that establishment, in the eyes of the fans, So
I'm just saying Hogan, Hogan was busting his ass 250 days a year.
Oh, whereas, absolutely.
It's
well, nobody ever gives Hogan the credit he deserves. When you're trying to get into the business, and the first thing that happens is an angry Japanese guy breaks your leg just to see if you've got the moxie to come back, and you come back, and you learn in Japan. Hulk Hogan gets no credit. I'm sorry, but Hulk Hogan did not get into this business easily. Sure, he had an end because people saw things in him. You'd have to be blind not to see things in him, even if he's playing bass guitar in some bar. You could see what that guy could be if you're a wrestler, which is what a couple of wrestlers did, right? Isn't that the legend? A couple of guys found him in a bar playing bass. That guy didn't have it easy. He had to go through all the tests that a lot of other wrestlers get nothing but credit for. Had his leg busted, learned how to chain wrestle in Japan, learned how to be a heel, learned how to be a heel that worked with a manager like a Blassie, learned how to be a face, learned how to be the greatest face in the business, and then when everything was about to come to an end, learned how to be the greatest heel in the business.
Right.
My God. I mean, what more do you want that guy to do?
And it wasn't like everything was handed to the guy. Nothing was handed to the guy. I mean,
then he had to know to protect it.
Vince Senior pretty much got, Vince Senior got rid of him, right? And then, he goes to Vern Gagne. What does Vern Gagne do? He steals a shit ton of Hogan's money, doesn't put the belt on him, which is the most obvious thing in the whole world. So he finally comes to WWF and he gets his just desserts, but it was not easy. He took his bumps.
No. And then he had to protect himself. Of course, wouldn't you protect it if you had gotten to that level? I'd protect everything I had earned. That's crazy.
Well, listen, guys.
And how many stars did he make in his career? Think about it. Think about how many stars he made in his career that are in the Hall of Fame right now. All right. Did he or did he not, make Warrior what Warrior became by doing what he did for him?
He elevated everybody.
Right. Did he or did he not at the Georgia Dome, which I still think was an amazing thing, 48,000 people at the Georgia Dome with Goldberg. Did he or did he not
Goldberg.
make Goldberg a household name? Did he not confirm that? I mean, he's done plenty, and he's not always been what they portray him to be. Put yourself in that guy's shoes. Good luck to you. The responsibility of having to be the greatest American hero for how long? Oh my God. And to perform that consistently on that level.
All right, listen, guys.
It's a different world. We live in a different world.
We got to take listen, guys. We got to take a quick commercial break here, and when we come back, we're going to talk about. It looks like there's a challenge for the number one player mate. If you check out the stream, check out the chat, Benny. We'll be right back.
The Monty and the Pharaoh Show is brought to you by...
Because wine is your second favorite four-letter word. California wine, New York attitude. Good fucking wine.
Yeah.
Tired of that same old breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Same old tasting scrambled eggs, burger, that dinner steak, ribs, or pork chops? Why not add a little bit of spice or just a touch of heat to make the difference? Change that scrambled egg with a little bit of Johnny Fabulous's John Cena Sr.'s $1 Million Jalapeno Hot Sauce. Great on burgers, steaks, chops, and those barbecued ribs.
And Nitro's Garage for all your automotive needs. Call 646-675-2349. That's 646-675-2349. For all your automotive needs, Nitro's Garage. Ask for Jack.
Do you treat your dog as part of the family? Well, so do we. So why not celebrate your pup's birthday with the ultimate party box? Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Party Pup Info, and let us make your pup's party or any celebration perfection.
M&J Video Games and Collectibles. Sport and non-sport cards, wrestling items, autographed items. We buy, sell, and trade. M&J Video Games and Collectibles, located at 1049 Queen Street, Southington, Connecticut. Call us at 1-860-479-9223 or 860-93-GAMES. M&J Video Games and Collectibles.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to this special edition of the Monty and the Pharaoh Show with the Elimination Chamber recap. I'm here with the player and the Pharaoh. So we got BP and P. So, what's going on, guys? So when we left, we were talking about, we had finished talking about Hulk Hogan, and we were looking at the chat, and it looks like Beth Harper and Matthew Holland are going to have some type of match to
Matthew Holland wins and becomes the number one playmate. I will go in my backyard and start digging.
Nice. So, yeah.
You don't want me to comment about this, either.
Oh,
Of
hey,
course
Jimmy,
we do.
we absolutely do.
come on.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
It's
Come
all.
on.
It's all for
Controversy
fun.
creates cash, right, Jimmy? Come on.
Who is the hole for? First of all, Benny, is it going to be for you because it's just like, my God, this is my new playmate, or
Right,
is
yes.
the hole going to be for really out there sorts of folks who like tell people what day they're going to pass away on?
Oh, well,
Who's
yeah,
the
we
hole
could.
for?
Yeah, that actually, you know what? It could be for that. Yeah, absolutely. That's much better.
I don't know who does stuff like that.
Last time I checked, you and I are both from. We both have New York roots, right? In waste management, right?
Long Island. Yep.
Yeah, waste management. Oh,
Waste
okay.
ma-
All right.
absolutely.
Well,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
so
uncle.
let's just
my uncle Knut's there.
what we'll do here for this situation is that we'll monitor it and we'll review what needs to be done accordingly in a near future date. How's that sound? Other than that, oi. Okay.
Or as Vince used to say, "We'll take it under advisement."
Yeah. We'll take it under advisement, and we'll have some Sicilian slices with that advisement, please, and some beer, but not that beer from that commercial that company did. I don't drink their beer anymore. Don't give me that beer. You know.
Which
Hey, you
beer
wanted
is
me to chime in? That's what I think. You
All
know?
right. Well,
Bruce, what else do we got on the docket here besides a complete meltdown in the chat room?
we have the main event of the Elimination Chamber, where we had the champion, Rhea Ripley, against Nia Jax. Wow.
By the way, now hold on a second. Why do you keep calling her Nia when her name's Nia? I got to know, because I think
Nia.
you and Phil called her Nia last night. So I decided to be polite about it and only referred to such said person as Jax for the rest of the show. However, today I watched it. They called it Nia a bunch of times because that's what we've always called it. So who's Nia?
Well, whatever.
Who's Nia Jax? I don't know who Jax is. Are you talking about the big one that sits on people? Is that
Yeah,
who you're
you
talking
need to
about?
call her Naya, right?
Yes, it's Nia. Anyway, Bruce, what did you think about that match?
I thought it was a hell of a lot better than anyone would have expected. I believe that woman has put a lot of extra time in the ring, and you know, let's face it, that you cannot complain about that as a main event. It was a well sold match.
Now, don't you think that this is where some people could say this was predictable? Can you hear them? I thought it was great. I thought it was fine, but isn't that been the whole point of this whole card? If that's fine, then why isn't anything previously fine? It was all fine. It all made sense. I guess I'm hammering home the fact that this pay-per-view made sense and was very consistent. It was very consistent. Were you really expecting any huge surprises? I mean, come on. This was Saudi Arabia, but turn to the right. Go to the
So
right and go down a little bit. Oh, this big island here. Okay, we'll stop here. You know, we knew we were going to get a star-studded show with a Raw or SmackDown level kind of card, and we did. You know, and it was actually a little better than Raw or SmackDown. Come on, those chambers are cool. By the way, shout out for the chamber itself.
were you
Chamber
not
itself has got staying power,
would,
doesn't it?
would you not say that the way they let it up, they let it up to disappoint when it comes to the surprises that were revealed? I'm going to say it was a very predictable, great card, good matches, good show. But they led you to believe that there was going to be something that was going to happen that nothing happened.
You know what? You know what I really think it is, Bruce. And I actually don't blame anybody who doesn't do it the way I do it. I pay very, and I mean very, little attention to the internet rumors.
I'm saying what directly came out of Triple H's mouth.
Or I was just about to say, or even what Triple H directly says, because my friend, we're being worked. Okay? We're being worked 24/7. What's serious on the surface doesn't mean it's going to be serious. So if Triple H says something, I don't go, well, that's going to happen. I'm not fooled anymore. But I'm not bitter about it. I just let it. I don't expect anything. I don't read too much into what's being said. I was not expecting a bunch of giant surprises for this card. This card served its purpose, just like everything else that they.
Because if I had pay-per-viewed it, I might be a little more annoyed.
Right. Well, the whole presentation has changed, right, Benny? This is not about. Yeah, true. Once a month, a big card happens. But it doesn't have the same layout or feel of the old days. The old days had one program, if you want to really go back to the old days, and it had the once-a-month thing. The once-a-month thing is now part of a much bigger, more complex machine and presentation. Everything's changed, guys. What do you think, Benny?
I mean, here's the bottom line. They have a product, and they want to maximize their customer satisfaction in order to maximize revenue. And I mean, this WrestleMania is their cash cow, and I don't think they're going to do anything to jeopardize that just to make a couple of people happy. I mean, every single one of these matches. I mean, which of these matches could you say, "Oh, that match really sucked"? None of them.
You can't.
Nia, whatever you want to call her. That was a great match. I mean, she put on a good show. Normally her matches are normally like 2 or 3 minutes long. She mustered up the endurance to hang with Rhea for however long that match was. And I mean, did we know that Rhea was going to win? Yes. But were there a couple of moments in that match where you thought, holy shit, maybe I got this wrong? There were. And that's the whole point. Yeah. She made us believe, even for 5 seconds, that she was going to pull off the upset. So in my mind, she did her job.
Right.
That suplex was. I am so. Who would have ever thought that Nia would have ever done pulled that one off, or that spot off?
Yep. And when a match is told correctly, that's what happens, Benny. You start to think to yourself, even if it's for a few seconds, a few different moments in the match, like, wait a minute, maybe I do have this wrong.
Right.
There's nothing better than that. That means that they did their job. One of the most beautiful matches. I should go back and watch it again. One of the most beautiful matches, and it only happened once, and it was magnificent. Was when Brock Lesnar fought Samoa Joe. You remember that match? And Joe got so close. Oh my God, so close, and they both played their role so perfectly. It reminds me of something like that for some reason. Where it just works right. It was done right.
I tell you what, it definitely over-delivered in my book. I thought it was going to be a stink fest. I thought it was going to be like a 4-minute match. And it was going to be some kind of false finish. I mean, it was a good match.
I actually thought it was going to be a good match, and we got one. So I wasn't surprised by it. Again, from point A to point Z, solid card. Everybody performed well. We haven't found one match that we didn't like. And it's the old, if it looks like and smells like that it is, this was a good show. It was a good show as we're heading towards what's supposed to be what Bruce is looking for. the big holy crap.
No,
holy
because
shit.
here's the reality. If we talk about WrestleMania last year, if you think about it, Jimmy, we actually did a show and we pretty much predicted exactly what was going to happen at WrestleMania, and we said, "Oh, it's you know what?
Right.
It's because it's not for us. It's because it's for the casual fan." That was our excuse then.
Right.
We're not, you know,
Right.
it's.
Well, I don't think that. Listen, with me, it's never an excuse. Okay, I don't make excuses. I make my own, opinion on something. If I felt that they played it safe last year, I'm sure I said that they probably played it safe for the reasons of profit and continuity.
Exactly what they're going to do this year. Exactly what they're going to do with it this year. So the only I was looking for major news afterwards, and I really didn't find much. I was expecting, usually they have that press conference. No real press conference. There were only a couple things that were released on Twitter. One I saw was Fightful had said that the original plans were Seth Rollins against Bronson Reed, being Bronson is from Australia. He was going to get a push there. Raquel Rodriguez worked. She's actually hurt, and she worked the match anyway. And honestly, if you think about it, she did really good for if she's hurt. But other than that, there really wasn't much coming out of this pay-per-view when it came to news.
Right.
I was hoping we'd have a little more to cover on that. We do now know, 4 or 5 matches of WrestleMania? I think that's about
it. We're getting a better idea about it. How about the fact that there's nobody up for the Hall of Fame yet? Is there a Hall of Fame this year?
That's what they keep talking about. That's Vince's baby. So are they are they kind of distancing themselves from it this year? I know that I read somewhere that they had reached out to Sylvester Stallone about being part of it this year, but they couldn't get him to commit. But that was the only one I've heard of.
That's interesting. You said they distanced themselves from it because it's Vince's baby. I just laughed my ass off when you said that. I'm like, so what does that mean? I guess we shouldn't be even holding wrestling. Everything you see is Vince's baby.
I agree. I'm just going by what you read. Go read the dirt sheet. Go read the dirt. Go read the dirt sheets. What the dirt sheets are saying. That was
yeah. Betty, you're a writer. How much do you put into the dirt sheets? I have a much different opinion than most people about how necessary. I understand why people do it, but to me, how necessary it really is if you want to maintain your organic freshness when you're watching the show itself. I don't let that come through my filter. What do you think about the dirt sheets being the fact that you're a writer? I mean,
I would rather react organically to this stuff than read, the only reason why I read any dirt sheets is because when, the crooked referee on Thursday night on the 30 asked me a question, I want to be able to give a semi-intelligent answer. Otherwise, I would never pay any attention to the dirt sheets.
Bruce, you got a rebuttal? You've been called a crooked referee. I mean, how is that going to earn him bonus points come Thursday? What's going on here?
I mean, I understand that, like you said, they have their purpose, the dirt sheets, but I really don't get involved in them. I'd rather be surprised.
The problem being Benny hasn't figured out the how to use the abacus to figure out how much to Venmo me.
Oh, well, at least you're open about it and not asking to take poops on anybody's
abacus.
Listen, I clearly take bribes via PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. I do take credit cards, but there is a 10% surcharge.
You take wampum.
Hey, listen, I'm also set up soon to take crypto if you guys want.
All right,
Bitcoin and Ethereum are preferred.
Wow. It's going to come out in the book one day, Bruce. You know why I mysteriously vanished with my share of the title? It was because of crooked referees like you.
Hey, when you were on the show, I was still a contestant. I hadn't worked my way up to that hosting level yet. And if you remember correctly, I was getting screwed every week. All right.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, but your answers were awful, though. You can't be that bitter. I mean, come on.
You think about it. Isn't Bruce doing a reverse Danny Davis?
Yeah, he is.
Danny Davis was a wrestler, a referee turned heel wrestler, and Bruce is a contestant turned heel referee.
I gotta tell you though, this past week I did mark out when Mr. President took the belt off that heel, your partner Dan, who's now turning on you.
I know, right?
It's like, I mean, where is he in all of this? I don't hear him saying anything. Is there a plate glass window? Is there a plate glass window waiting for you, Benny? I mean, what is this?
Is there a problem with Dan and Benny? I don't think so.
Yeah, what's going on here? I'm very confused. But you know what? It makes for good television, though. It does. What's going to happen next?
That's the word. Compelling.
Yeah, it's compelling. Yeah. I agree.
Man.
Double A.
Who are you guys? Who are you guys?
Is there anything else to mention about Bruce? We got anything else
I really didn't. I really didn't have anything else for the night. I mean, I was expecting a little bit more news coming out of the pay-per-view, but nothing really, nothing surfaced. So, yeah. Well, what do you guys have? I mean, I know that we've got some upcoming good shows. We've got, of course, this Thursday we've got Monty and the Pharaoh. Who's your guest this week? Jimmy, do you know?
That's a good question. Mike probably is like going to be yelling at the set right now. I would have to take a look, so I can't say.
It was Rosie O'Donnell.
It's not Rosie O'Donnell. No, I know that another one of the existing ring boys is coming.
That's the one of that's
Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah, and I know I know Bruce,
that's happening.
You know,
and there's
Bruce and Miss Year coming. Bruce and Miss Year coming back soon, and the one I'm looking forward to the most.
I thought they had a stomach ache. They ate bad sushi or some shit like that. I thought they had a tummy ache.
Bad gefilte fish.
But the one I'm looking most forward to soon.
All gefilte fish is bad.
I cannot wait for you guys to have Stan Hansen in studio. That's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
If I could do a cheap plug for Tuesday night, Stan and Benny in the Ring, I'm very excited to be interviewing Renee Koloff, the widow of Ivan Koloff. I really look forward to that. That's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
How does one get the wife of? How do you do that?
You're talking to the player here.
Wow.
He reached out to the right nursing home.
Oh, dude, what are you doing? You're supposed to put the guests over, not under. What are you doing?
Well, listen, I also have to promote our newest show on the network. It's Dan and Joe in the Ring. I believe it's premiering over the next couple weeks.
Well, I got to take issue with that picture of Joe, though. You didn't take the picture with him with his eyes rolled back. His bad acting 101 face.
Did you notice that Joe does not have a cartoon figure there because he is a cartoon figure? Maybe it's that. I'm just wondering. I'm thinking aloud here. I don't know. What do you think? What if he had a cartoon? What would it look like? Would it look like that, or would you have the head tilted like a little bit? In shock and bereavement. What do you think?
Righteous indignation.
What? Bruce, get us the hell out of here.
All right. You've been watching Long Island's #1 wrestling broadcast, and on behalf of Jimmy Farrow and the player Benny Scala, this is ESO, and we will see you guys soon. Later.
Later.